you napping, Steve? I know, it was a long night. Why, T-Rex? Why did you have to bark so loud at 3:14 a.m.? Why? 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 Because a coyote howled at 3:14 a.m. Yes, I am aware of the coyote danger, and I try and take precautions, but I'm not going to live life indoors. It is now just about 8:30 a.m., and this is the warmest morning we've had in more than a week since that rain a week ago yesterday in southern New England. The temperature here is now 30 degrees with what's called warm air advection. Warm air, 30. Yeah, it's been so cold that warm air advection is 30, and we're going to have dripping and melting snow and melting ice today in southern and eastern New England with the temperature on the rise. This morning's map, temperature map anyway, showed both Boston and Burlington, Vermont, between 25 and 30 degrees, and both cities, Burlington, Vermont, and Boston, gusting 25 to 30 miles an hour from the southwest. So this is the warmer weather direction. High pressure is off to our south. Here is the surface analysis. Sinuous isobars, those black lines, or are they brown? They kind of wave up and then wave down, wave up and wave down. That's a thermal gradient with many fronts. A warm front to New York, and then two cold fronts coming across western New York, Great Lakes, and then another warm front coming at Lake Superior. So it is a confused atmosphere with warm fronts and cold fronts, and New England is right on the line between the warm and the cold today. It's going to be getting colder up in the sky at the Canadian border, and it's going to be getting warmer in southern New England. A differential advection with scattered snow showers north. This is day 26 in a row with New England snow. Chris Louis, traveled from southwestern Connecticut to the mountains of northern Vermont with cozy accommodation, to say the least, this morning, Chris. Skiing at Jay today. I'm going to make my way to Jay today, but I'm not going to make it until tonight. So even though I like to call Sunday not in a hurry Sunday, I'm kind of in a hurry as I have to travel, 210 miles to Stowe to pick up my skis and boots, and then another 50 miles to Jay. So I get 260 miles of travel today. T-Rex down on the worm farm. What do you see, T-Rex? Where's the coyote track? I do not have the coyote track, I don't believe, in my yard. But I know they're around, and I heard them. And I do have precautions. I've got pans that I can bang together and such, and I try and keep an eye out for everything. What kind of track is that? It looks like a rabbit. Yeah, that'd be a rabbit. So there are no coyote track. I know I get in trouble for calling them print. Just rabbit track here in the backyard. And people track. So we've got a mixture of sunshine and altocumulus clouds, and there have been some monumental changes when I woke up at 4 o'clock and looked at the guidance, because I can't not when it's so exciting with the weather pattern changing like this. And I saw what happened. There was a wholesale change in the guidance going forward, where it's a little less amplified flow this week. It means it's going to be a little less cold on the backside of the Wednesday snow, which I totally forgot to discuss yesterday, and the upcoming weekend weather, where the warm up and a wintry mix now in the forecast. It's a lot colder output this morning, kind of back to where we were Thursday morning. Let's go first to the top of Mount Washington, talk about warm air, and the temperature on Mount Washington this morning, +5 with the wind. It wasn't that strong, but it did gust to 75 miles an hour last night, so there are some wind hold issues, but that's the warmest it's been on Mount Washington for at least a week. And we've got a long way to go on the construction here, and now the locals are enjoying this new path this now barren landscape. We feel a lot more exposed to whoever might want to come up and visit us here in the backyard, but such is life. And so the weather's changing, the weather forecast is changing, such is life. We adapt to the changes, right? And so let's go to the Euro Shrewsbury 10-day forecast on the meteogram. I think we're going to look at about 7 days out to next weekend. And so this 1-2 warm front, cold front, not producing too much weather today, temperature close to 40. And then tomorrow, temperature is back down in the 20s. Colder air comes in tomorrow. Colder air, probably without any fanfare in southern New England, but northern New England, it's a totally different story. And then it gets colder again on Tuesday morning is the coldest of the next couple mornings. And then it gets warmer with snow likely on Wednesday. And the temperature does get into the mid 30s, so there may be some snow rain mixed in parts of southern New England. Birds tangling over a seed or something. I don't know what that was. Sorry for the interruption. Back to the Shrewsbury. You probably couldn't hear that well, but those birds were making some noise. And now T-Rex can see every person and dog that walks by down there. So he's going to be a lot more agitated. Before, it was just a wall of vegetation. We couldn't see what was going on. What was going on? You were talking about the Shrewsbury snow on Wednesday that you forgot to mention yesterday. Oh, yeah, sorry. It looks like a few inches of snow for much of New England. We'll look at the graphic on that in a second. And then it gets colder on Thursday, but not as cold. And it doesn't last as long. So that polar vortex threat is decreasing, especially in southern New England on Thursday. And what's increasing is the wintry mix coming in next Friday morning and Saturday morning, temperature near zero. So even though the temperature is near zero on Saturday morning, by the end of the day, it may be raining. Oh, boy. That is going to be a tough battle zone. We may end up with some freezing rain in New England. That's when it's warmer up in the sky than down on the ground. And you end up with inversion and precipitation that comes down as rain and freezes on surfaces. That's going to be colored red and purple as we transition now to the maps that show it is raining and snowing in Southern California. And Jeff Mers, we have the Socorro connection. I love when there's a trough in the southwest and the air comes from that island west of central Mexico, and that feeds into this weather pattern in North America, where you get that trough in the southwest and you get the ridging in the north of Canada, and these systems coming out of Canada into New England with the cold. And if you merge the two, then you get a big storm, but we don't right now. The lows are going to our north, and this is even stronger now tomorrow. That's supposed to be now in the 970s, even upper 960 millibar low, tracking farther north than was forecast and deeper than forecast. So the front is going to be slower to arrive in New England tomorrow night, but when it does, there are snow squalls and brief blizzard conditions. I'm going to have to lower my J-Peak snowfall forecast for Monday night into Tuesday, more like a foot, more than 2 foot, and those snow showers may last all the way into southern New England. And then just as quickly as the cold air comes in behind that one, there's a warm front coming at us and a cold front and a low pressure system that's a strong low too. It's in the upper 980s, near 990, cutting right across the Great Lakes, and that's going to be coming right into New England and slowing down on Wednesday. The primary low is going to go into northern New York. We're going to have a bit of a redevelopment in the Gulf of Maine. It kind of wobbles around. Extended period of snow. Will that be days 29 and 30 in a row in northern New England? It'll be snowing, and that's going to lift out a little bit. And then Thursday, there's the wicked cold wind on Thursday, but not as bad as it looked yesterday and the day before. And then here comes the next system coming out of that old storm from California, coming across the lower Mississippi Valley, and we're back to sort of where we were about 3 days ago on this, with high pressure going off to the south, but then a new high coming in from the north. And by Saturday, February 1st, we have snow, ice, and rain coming into New England. This is sort of you add up all the last 3 days or 4 days and combine them and divide by 4. And that's what it looks like right there, really slowing it down here. Another primary low going into northern New York and redeveloping over and just east of Boston. Can you make out that low pressure system there east of Boston with the rain snow line lifting into northern New England, but also the potential for some freezing rain. And that would be red and purple as sleet. And then that kind of lingers in here through Monday. Now, a Groundhog Day system lingers into Monday, February 3rd, and then 240 hours is Tuesday, February 4th. And at that time, we have an incredible temperature pressure gradient across the United States, wall-to-wall cold in Canada, close to a record warm in Texas, and we are right on the edge with just cold enough for snow here and what does not look like much over about Colorado. What's that, about a 10, 11 low pressure system? But there is an incredible gradient there, and that low is going to come racing east, and that guarantees more action right around the anniversary of the February 1978 blizzard. Just saying, that's the anniversary. I know this is the anniversary now of the blizzards that came in 10 years ago, and there was some talk by me of perhaps something like that happening again this year, but obviously that has not happened, at least not yet. And so I'm going to show you the the temperature gradient map. All these are from Pivotal Weather, and there's the -10 to -15 degrees in Montana, and the blue and purple, and even lighter colors, and then the darker reds and are the temperatures that are record warm in West Texas. It's in the mid 80s to near 90. And that means there's a 100-degree temperature gradient over the lower 48 from north to south, the middle of a week from now. That would be February 4th. And there's going to be some major weather along that boundary. Whenever you have that kind of thermal gradient, you're going to have a lot of wind and a lot of storm threat. And you have that Socorro connection coming out of the central South Pacific. You got the Arctic connection coming into North America. So the pattern is locked and loaded for more ambitious storms. So I'm at 10 minutes. I don't have a lot of more from yesterday. The cats and dog enjoying some solar heating. Yesterday was a beautiful day, and I got a lot of travel to do. So I'm going to try and do a quick edit. And as for meeting you, Jennifer, and all my friends up at J Peak, and I don't think I'm going to be in time for the bull wheel today. I will be definitely at the bull wheel tomorrow afternoon watching that blizzard commence. And then Tuesday I have a Zoom meeting at 4, so I won't be able to be there at 4 on Tuesday, but maybe earlier than that, maybe about 2:30. Working for the Blue Hill Observatory this week and J Peak, and I'm going to do some videos. And who wants to be in the videos? Find me tomorrow. I'll have on burnt orange, I think. Burnt orange. No, yeah, it's kind of burnt orange and bright orange pants. Kind of hard to miss. All right. Oh, wanted to measure the snow in Steve's. Here's our opportunity. There it is. We've got, go for it, Steve. Do it. Steve eating snow. That's the first. Steve, here you go. Here you go. Get that. So we've got about, there he goes. We've got about a waist deep snowpack here in the backyard for Steve. Thank you for doing that. We've always wondered how deep the snow was up on Steve. And then over by Rex, there's no snow at all. Oh, nice jump, Steve. You want to play? Steve, get that. All right, and more from yesterday. More cats and dogs. And I appreciate all your comments and content, Chris Lewis. Thank you for that. All right, talk to you 24 hours or so out in the J snow. That'll be day 27 in a row. Taking advantage of some passive solar heating. Mitt, you got to go a little closer to the door. T-Rex, can Mitt come over there and share some of that sunshine with you? Oh, that's very generous. We just want to see you and out the door weather and more. We need more Mitt. Gorgeous day outside. So the snow came down a little more than a week ago. Just last Saturday night, Sunday at lunchtime. Slow, not in a hurry. Saturday. It's Saturday, Tim. Losing track of the days. So it was a week ago tonight that the snow came down. Still in the PJs, double layered. And the little sun porch. It's got some good solar heat too. You enjoying this, Steve? Yeah, more and more and more. Bring it. 4 o'clock. I didn't do anything today. I had a late brunch. Enjoyed the blue sky for a while. I haven't even melted that stuff out of the rain gauge. T-Rex, it's so different, isn't it? Oh, let's look at the temperature. It feels warm. -2 Celsius, it's about 28 degrees. And so I didn't do much. So that means very little and more. Easy edit to head north. Yeah, I shared some of the skiing from Ray and the family at Pico today. Everyone was talking about how beautiful it was. And can't get over this cloud that just kind of came out of nowhere with a bunch of virga over there. How's our little snow wave doing? That's doing pretty good. Rex, let's go down the stairs. It's really weird without any trees next to him. Let's see if we can do this without slip sliding away. And just leave you with a time lapse of today. There's a ball. I'll take that ball. And the fact that it's snowing right now in central New York without anything being offered up by the guidance just leads me to believe that it's going to be a pretty interesting week with a lot of surprises coming up. A lot of little perturbations along an Arctic boundary. Right now in New England, between the Arctic boundary and the polar boundary. And, little things are going to get us. A couple of big things too. Sorry, I glossed over that Wednesday snowfall today, which is now yesterday. It was pretty impressive actually for Wednesday in southern New England. And yesterday we talked to Doug about the cement that their father and uncle poured. There it is. They had these winches to bring the boats up on the banking 60 years ago. Ooh. Yeah, it was a tough one, T-Rex. You can see the water coming out of the hill right there and freezing. All right, the sun's getting closer. Back to the north, to the Fore River Bridge. Did I say something about leaving you with a time lapse? I think I did. All right, so here's the time lapse. Sky was blue, then there were a few Q, now there's alto Q, and Virga. Yeah, different Virga than yesterday. Almost a sundog. This is a taller cloud, more substantial Virga cloud today. All right, here we are on this rock escape. And the alignment of the stars and the moon at sunrise. Enough. Here's the time lapse. Okay, all right, here it is. Oh, how could I not add a little bit in more? There it goes. There they go. The sun and the geese. It's the first time I've come to this spot for sunset since the trees have been cut down. More and more and more.